Could Deebo Samuel realistically be headed to the AFC North and more specifically to your Baltimore Ravens as God's favorite host on a snowy Wednesday in the Baltimore area and beyond? You got your Ravens content. Deebo Samuel, he's linked to the AFC North. Adam Schefter was on the Pat McAfee Show. He talked all about it. I'm going to play the clip for you. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at Deebo's numbers. Would he be a good fit? I want to hear from you. Does he become a Raven? Do the Steelers go get him? If the Ravens don't get Deebo, do they go get Cooper Kupp? Who would you rather have? Let me know. Sound off down below. It's God's favorite host. If you're new to the channel, stiff arm that subscribe button, tackle that thumbs up, and make sure you blitz that bell. Leave a comment. Your thoughts are greatly appreciated, and it helps us out tremendously. Any comment, we take it, and we will respond to you and tell you how we feel about it. But let's get to it. We've heard the rumors after now what is officially the offseason. Officially, trades and signings can't happen until the new league year in March. But we do have speculation and we do have information from various teams. We heard last week Cooper Kupp was granted permission by the Rams to seek a trade. And now this past week, Deebo Samuel was indeed granted the trade from the San Francisco 49ers. So let's get into the content of what exactly was said. As Adam Schefter, ESPN insider, guy who has galore on the Pat McAfee Show. Let's play what he indeed did have to say. Let me get that clip up, and we'll play it here.
Schefter, more big news out of San Francisco. The 49ers gave Deebo Samuel permission to seek a trade. Are we going to see a lot of this? Because we've already seen Cooper Kupp being told by the team, go ahead, we're going to trade you. And now Deebo, of course, with the Niners, a little bit of a different situation. But what teams are going to be in it for Deebo, do you think?
And we know you're plugged in over there.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Well, I spoke to Deebo yesterday morning. So
of course
we didn't go over to the teams just yet. I would think that there'd be a lot of teams that could use a player like Deebo. Obviously, I think the 49ers did a tremendous job at maximizing his talents. But think of all the teams that need wide receivers. There's so many of them. And there's still going to be so much wide receiver movement this offseason that I don't know. Like, what happens if T. Higgins leaves Cincinnati? Would he be an option there? What if Tyreek Hill gets traded for Miami? Is he an option there? What about
he's back. He's all in, isn't he? I thought Tyreek was all in. Didn't he say he took back his I'm out and his mom called him or something like that?
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, what did he say?
He says a lot.
I'm just saying there are a lot of outstanding. There are a lot of outstanding wide receivers.
Well said.
I think it's hard to pinpoint right now where Deebo would go. I could see him in Pittsburgh. I could see him in Baltimore. I could see him in a lot of places.
Denver.
Like any of those
Vegas.
any of those AFC North teams makes sense.
Okay. We would love to have him here in Indy. Deebo's a dog.
Packers.
There's just always a situation seemingly out there with the Niners.
Always.
There's always something brewing with the Niners. And I'll tell you, whenever I think about that team, I think they're great. But they're always dealing with shit. I guess that's what great teams have to deal with, except for the Philadelphia Eagles.
So there you go right there. You heard it from Adam Schefter, and you saw the tweet. He would have 1 year left on his contract. He would be an option for a lot of teams. The Ravens, the Steelers. What do the Bengals do with T. Higgins? The Washington Commanders, the Miami Dolphins with Tyreek Hill, the Green Bay Packers, the Indianapolis Colts, the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm sure a team maybe in his division, not that he would get traded in his division, but I'm sure a Seahawks or a Cardinals or one of those teams. I'm sure there is not a team in the NFL that wouldn't say, if we got an opportunity to get Deebo Samuel, we wouldn't get him. So he is going to be heavily sought after, as is Cooper Kupp, because I think one of the two could end up in the North with one team and then the other could go to the other team. So Deebo goes to the Ravens. Could Cooper Kupp be a Steeler? Could Cooper Kupp be a Raven and Deebo be a Steeler? I could see either or happening. Tyreek Hill, I don't know if he gets traded. I think if they're going to pay him, he stays. Now, the Packers, they do need a number one receiver. We have teams that, obviously, like mentioned, the Steelers need a number one receiver. The Washington Commanders need a number one receiver. The Dallas Cowboys, we know they love to make a splash. They could go get another receiver. So there is no telling where he will go. Now, obviously, I think the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, they will send him out of the AFC. Just like I think if Myles Garrett or Crosby or whomever were to get traded, because personally, I think the Ravens need to go get that pass rusher. Now, they could go get Deebo with some of the draft picks that they have with 11, and then maybe use some of the other draft picks to maneuver in the draft, because after this conversation, it's pretty much inevitable that you got to upgrade. I think another receiver wouldn't hurt because you're going to need one either way. Right now, you're going in there with Flowers, Bateman. You got the 2 tight ends. You got Derrick Henry. But outside of those 2, you got Devontae Walker, who only had 1 catch this year. Obviously, he needs to take the next step, but Tylan Wallace, a free agent. So you need depth at that position. So you're probably going to still have to end up re-signing one of those guys or drafting someone if you don't make a trade for a guy like Deebo Samuel. But Deebo Samuel, as your third receiver, inside, what he can do inside and moving the chains, what he can do in the backfield, being even a decoy for a guy like Derrick Henry, a Justice Hill, a Keaton Mitchell, a Lamar Jackson, who's a nuclear weapon running the football as well. We can't forget that. And then obviously looking at what he can do, like I said, he is a decoy. So he plays physical. He has that tough, play like a Raven mentality. And he would fit, I think, right in. And obviously, Lamar would be happy to have a guy like him. But you pair him with Zay, you pair him with Bateman. You got 2 talented tight ends in Andrews and Likely. Derrick Henry, who had almost 2,000 yards. What else do you need? Now, Deebo is coming off his worst season since 2020. He had only 805 total yards, 4 touchdowns. The biggest concern I have with guys like Deebo Samuel, and Cooper Kupp are the injury factors. Now, this is also another thing because he is only 29. He is 29. He's not getting any younger. But could you get maybe 2 or 3 years out of him? He is only signed through this year. 2026 is a void year on his contract. So you would probably have to not only trade for him, but you would have to pay him. You would have to extend him. So he's 29. How much money do you want a 29-year-old receiver who is injury prone? That is a question. I know Ravens fans see, hey, this looks great. I need him. But we're not playing that. We do have to take into account cap, which the Ravens are usually very tight and heavy against the cap, which they're here. I'm sure they'll make some adjustments. I'm sure Lamar Jackson will probably restructure his deal. I'm sure there will be various things that indeed do have. As mentioned, you're probably going to lose Ronnie Stanley. You're probably going to lose Pat McAfee. Do you bring back Pat McAfee? As mentioned, restructuring Lamar Jackson, lose Marcus Williams. That will create some cap space. I'm sure maybe maneuvering or maybe reworking an Andrews. There are a lot of ways they can go. Eric DaCosta and his team, I'm sure, are very good at that. They will do what they need to do to try to recap and recoup some money to go out and make a splash. Like I said, I don't think they'll get it. Could they go get Crosby? Could they go maybe try to get Micah Parsons? Like I said, I would like to see them maybe go after a guy. But if they go get a Deebo, they go get a cool, then let's be aggressive in the draft. As aggressive as we might be in free agency, making trades, let's be as aggressive in the draft. You got 11 picks. Because if you know Deebo's pretty much you're going to have to pay him anyway, you're not going to give up a lot of draft capital. So at most, you're probably giving up what? A second, third rounder? You're probably starting with a 4. You're probably starting with a 4 and eventually maybe gets to a 3. You give up a third round pick, you pay him. 49ers are probably happy. Maybe you give up a 3 and a 5, a 3 and a 4. Maybe you give up 2 picks. But if you're going to trade him, he's not getting any younger. He has some injury issues, and he is someone you're going to have to pay. But I don't think the injuries concern me as much. He does play physical. He plays a hard-nosed style. But he played 15 games his rookie year, 7 the year before after that. But other than that, 16 in 2021, 13 in 2022, 15 in 2023, and 15 this past season as well. So he has been on the field. We have, obviously, it's 17 games now, potentially 18. If guys miss a game or 2, it's expected. But if he's suiting up for 14, 15 games, he's only missing 2 or 3 games. I'm not complaining. Like I said, if anything, you have to account for him when he's on the field. You put him in the backfield, they have to have 2 eyes on him, probably 4. You still got Derrick Henry, you still got Lamar Jackson, you got Zay, you got Bateman, you got the other 2 tight ends. There are a lot of things we can see going into year 3 with Todd Monken. What does the offense do to evolve? What does the offense do to get better? Those are some things we're going to be looking at. But Deebo, as you can see, he can rush for touchdowns. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. You can run jet sweeps. We can do that with Zay. You got Bateman who can go down the field. Likely is good with that. Andrews, regardless of how you feel about him, he does his thing as well and has rapport with Lamar Jackson. His highest year was only 1,400 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he's never had double-digit touchdowns. He's had 8 rushing touchdowns. That was the most he's had. And he's had 1,400 yards on 77. And honestly, this year he had 50 for 670 and playing in 15 games. So if he plays 15 games for the Ravens, he comes here, catches 40 to 50 passes, has 600 to 700 yards, 3 to 5 touchdowns, averaging 13, 14 to catch. I'm cool with it, especially if you're only giving up a third or a fourth. And you know you're going to have to pay him. So I don't think, like with Roquan, EDC isn't a dummy. He's not going to make a trade like this and not be ready to pay the guy. You trade Roquan, you give up a second-round pick. That's your second-round pick. You pay him. You got Lamar Jackson going into a free agency year. You're going to have to eventually get Linderbaum. What are you doing with Oweh? So there are a lot of decisions that need to be made over the next year or two for the Ravens, hence why there is a sense of urgency amongst Ravens block to go all in and do what you need to do. Like I said, they need a pass rusher that can win, a playmaker on defense that can force turnovers, get takeaways, pretty much someone you have to account for every play that then can allow the others, the Oways, the Van Noys, the Matabikes, the Travis Jones, those individuals to then have one-on-one opportunities. You saw it in the Super Bowl. The Eagles were able to get so much pressure. You got to double team Jalen Carter. You got to have a double team on Jordan Davis. Then it allows Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, Brandon Graham, other guys that you have that pretty much are rotational pieces because of the depth that you have are in the game and able to create opportunities to get after the quarterback. That is going to be what the Ravens need to do to get over the hump. It's about closing out on defense. Can you get after Patrick Mahomes? Can you get after Josh Allen? Can you get after Joe Burrow, or CJ Stroud, or Jaden Daniels, or Jalen Hurts? Whomever you face, a Jordan Love, you got to play the NFC North, Jared Goff, just throwing teams out there at you. Can you get after them consistently? If Aaron Rodgers comes to the AFC North, I predict that he's going to be a Steeler. So then could you get an Aaron Rodgers and Deebo Samuel and Aaron Rodgers and possibly Cooper Kupp? These guys would play with Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers can still spin that ball. And he's going to look to get his guys the football. That's one thing about Aaron Rodgers to a fault. If he rocks with you, if he bangs with you, he is going to give you opportunities to catch the football. You saw it with Devontae Adams, and you've seen it with other guys, Alan Lazard. So maybe putting Deebo and Aaron Rodgers, or Deebo with Lamar, or Aaron Rodgers with Cooper Kupp. We don't want to count out that I do think if these guys are to get traded, I could see one going to one team, Cooper Kupp or Samuel to the Steelers, and the other person maybe to the Ravens. Because if the Ravens don't make a move and the Steelers make a move like this, you'll see it kind of like that Marcus Williams signing a few years back. It'll be a reactionary move where they have to go out and get somebody. Last year, they added Derrick Henry. Hey, go get a receiver. Go get another weapon for Lamar. And then use that draft capital. Be aggressive. Trade up from 27. You got 11 picks. You're not using all of them. You're not going to have 11 new guys or rookies make the team. And I think it will be an opportunity to maybe get up into 14, 15, 16 to get a legit pass rusher who's a proven guy who can come in, cheap labor, year one, and essentially help out your team because this team is ready to win a championship now. There's no tomorrow. There's no waiting around 2 or 3 years down the line. This is the year. 2025, 2026, whatever it takes. Got to go all in. You got to be aggressive, like how we rose in the game. But Deebo's going to have a lot of shooters. Cooper's going to have a lot of shooters. Like I said, I want to keep my eye to a pass rush market. Possibly go to the next Crosby. I don't know, throw around a deal or Michael Parsons. I mean, these are guys you're going to all have to pay. I think Crosby still has 2 years. So that is the plus. I would give up my one for Crosby. Let's sound off in the comment section. What are you doing with Eric DeCosta? Do you want Deebo Samuel? Do you want Cooper Kupp? Do you want Tyreek Hill? Do you want Michael Parsons? Do you want Myles Garrett? I don't think it's happening. Do you want Max Crosby? Max Crosby still has 2 years left. Parsons don't. If you trade for Parsons, he does change the entirety of your defense. You pay him, you got Roquan, but then like you have Linderbaum, you got Hamilton coming up, you got Zay Flowers. So a lot of interesting decisions for the Ravens. That is why the sense of urgency to win this season is at an all-time high. So 10 out of 10, we're 10 out of 10 for you right here on the Football Podcast. God's favorite host. Stay safe in the snow. Keeping you warm with that hot flex zone content. Only place giving you Ravens coverage how you want it when you need it. God's favorite host. Signing off. We got NFL content each and every day. We talked about Aaron Rodgers yesterday. Talking about Deebo Samuel and his link to the AFC North today. We got AEW Dynamite tonight and more content on the channel. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. Hit the bell. Comment down below. I'll see you when I see you. Have a great day.